screen.
Yes, Paul. I can see your screen. Be in the last page. Yeah.
Hello, good morning, all.
Good morning.
Okay, so you would like to have an intro for all of us? Okay, hi. Yeah, sure. I'll start with myself then. Uh, I'm currently working as a cloud architect in TCS, and I'm working for one of our esteemed client to deliver their cloud platform. So I'm myself a AWS cloud certified architect, and I'm eager to understand and know about Amazon Q, and that's why I would like to go through this session and understand more. So thanks for sharing this opportunity to have this session and join this session.
Thank you, Suk.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ashok. And anyone else wants to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi all. Myself Kunal Vardhan. I have around 15 years of experience into IT. I work as an infrastructure architect for Dassault system. I'm based in UK. I've been in UK since 2020. Yeah.
That's good.
Currently I'm working for Jaguar Land Rover, but then being in Euro North Geo, I work with different customers like UK Atomic Energy. Then there was a customer in Netherlands which was into nuclear Palas reactor. Then EDF. So and the customer have a different requirement based on some customers are on cloud. Where they use AWS, Azure. So I have some exposure to cloud. Then my company, they have their own cloud offering, which is based on Outscale. So I joined this session to understand, from AWS side, to learn and understand, what can I offer to customers. So let's see. Thank you all.
Great. Good to know you, Kunal. Thank you.
Thanks, Kunal. Maybe I will introduce myself. Hi, everyone. This is Shweta Mudunori, and I'm currently working as cyber analyst in Tenesian, DC. We offer cyber and data services to public sectors. That's all about me. And I did masters in cybersecurity, and I'm based in Scotland. That's all
Thank you,
about
Shweta.
me. Abhi, you want to get started because you're already on time.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a second. Thank you so much, Abby and Sweta, for this opportunity. I just got a ping from Abby just 3 days back that they're running a series on AWS AI services, and I thought of, okay, let me give it a try. So it was a bit of short notice. However, I'm fine because I had done some hands-on earlier on the topics. That's why I thought of, okay, let me cover the features of Amazon Q. In fact, to be specific, Amazon Q business, and whatever I have done, I can showcase that. Of course, there are a lot of features which probably we can talk in the next sessions. Uh, and this session, this could be probably how to understand the capability of Amazon Q and Amazon Q business and other other, because you can consider Amazon Q as at a center, whereas there are multiple different features. For example, Amazon Q Business, Amazon Q Developer, Amazon Q itself has business has another option called Amazon Q app, which is used for purposes which I'll talk about. So this is the session which I thought let me join and then try to share my experience and my knowledge. So thank you again, and let's start. So I'm working as a solutions architect. I'm working for one of the automotive giants in UK. I'm employed by TCS, and TCS, my role is as technical architect. However, for client, I'm working as solutions architect. So with that, let me start. So let me start sharing my screen back. Abby, please give me a shout once you can see it is being shared. So we'll take all the questions towards the end. However, if there is any questions which is you feel, Abby and Shweta, that it's very important to answer midway, you can please stop me. However, like I'll prefer that we answer most of the questions towards the end. Okay, so Amazon Q. So this is what is Amazon Q? It's one of the managed, completely managed AI service, Amazon's AI service, which provides which is a, you can say it's a web based, right? And you can do what you can do with this Amazon Q is it has. So let me ask certain questions rather than telling what it does. Like for example. Nowadays, right, every business user, whether not just business user, every user, I would say, in at enterprise, right, they are using maybe 5 to 10 different applications on regular basis. Like what do we mean by that? Let's say you are part of a agile team, right? You might be using Jira, you might be using Confluence, you might be using for communication Microsoft Teams, for example, for storing data, maybe SharePoint and things like that, right? And if you're into a technical side, maybe you're also using databases and all that. Now what happens is, if you have to do certain activity, right, for all these different activity, most of the time you are logging on and you're interacting with the separate applications altogether, right? So what it does is, I mean, this is just one scenario. There could be other use cases which you can think of, right, which can, because it is just maybe over maybe 1.5 year or so, or even less than that, when Amazon Q came, and then it is still trying to mature itself, right? So what I'm saying is, the common use cases are, and the purpose of Amazon Q is provide one single interface using which you can interact with all these systems, right? It might be your Jira, it might be your Confluence, it might be your sorry, Confluence might not be the right example, and to double check in terms of connectors, but Jira, and then so many different systems I talked about. So all these connectors are available, using which you can interact with these systems having a single interface called Amazon Q Business. So that's a very high level introduction of it. It's a managed service, so you don't need to manage anything in terms of infrastructure and all that. So let me show you here. So what you have to do is, like, once you understand what Amazon Q Business is, then you need to discover your requirement, let's say, because it's all about enterprise. It's been built for enterprise. So you need to discover your system, your requirement. You analyze your requirement and see where it fits, what sort of integration you can do, or what sort of capability uses you can do using Amazon Q Business to automate a number of things, or make the things more streamlined. Like, systems are running in silos, isn't it, right? So this platform, or this interface called Amazon Q Business, a single interface using which you need to think like how you can transform your business, because it minimizes a lot of effort. I'll show you some of the use cases, and more importantly, so you can do discovery, you can do analysis of your requirement, and you can take required action according to your requirement. Now, so as I mentioned that Amazon Q business is used for enterprises. So what it is actually, at the back end, Amazon Q business is built on sorry, it's built, it's been trained on many of the foundation models of Amazon Bedrock. So it does not use any of your data, right? So you are using, let's say, as I mentioned, there are 40 plus connectors using which you can store your data, your enterprise data. And your Amazon Q business instance is not using any of that data to train itself. It is already been trained using foundation models. It you can when I'll showcase with you what it will understand. You can do two type of prompting. One is general prompting, right, wherein you can see what all response, what all, I mean, it could be any generic question you can ask, right? And the other one, which is more important, which is specific to enterprise. So whatever data or whatever integration you have done, for example, you have your document set up in your S3 bucket, right? So, or you have done integration with Jira, Confluence, sorry, Atlassian Jira or Salesforce, for example. So you can interact with this system. So it does not use these data, which is your enterprise data. It keeps that privacy intact, right? So that is very important nowadays. So it does that. It does not use your data or your enterprise data to train its model. So that is very important to know. Other thing is it ensures that only authorized users and services access this system. So what it means by that, if you see here, there is a, so are you still able to see my screen? Can you please confirm? Fine. So if you see here, there is an identity provider here, right? So identity provider, it's a very generic term. So what happens is at Amazon Q business, they can, our system can be authenticated in two ways. One is using AWS internal service, IBM identity center, right, which was earlier known as AWS SSO service. And on top of that, you can also do integration with your organization's SSO, like IDP, identity providers, for example, uh, Microsoft ADFS, right? So I'm sorry, Active Directory. Similarly, there could be others like Google authentication. So you can do integration. Those systems can work as identity provider, and you can use those, and it can authenticate you on the basis of that. So in conjunction with AWS Identity Center and your identity provided, you are being authenticated successfully. If you are not the right user, then you will not be able to access Amazon Q business. So these two are the important aspect for us to know, that your data is not being used for training purposes, and only the authorized, authenticated and authorized users are only able to access the Amazon Q business. So yeah, so if you look at here, then once this integration is done and you are authenticated successfully, then an interface opens in front of you, using which you can query, you can do the prompting, you can ask the questions, and you can get the response. So that's a very simple aspect. There are other features I'll talk about later on. So the connectors I was talking about are 40 plus, so that they are all pre-built connectors. So I could put some screenshot of a number of them here. If you can see, there are many of them which are familiar, like Jira is here, SQL Server database, Dropbox, Amazon FSx, Alfresco, you name it. So there are Microsoft based, and then different kinds of storage, S3 bucket and all that. So it can integrate with very, very common enterprise level tools or products which business users use nowadays on regular basis, right? Now, coming back to how to set up Q business application. So there are the steps. I'll showcase that. Maybe I'll not be able to show you everything which I have noted here, because this is something I have done a few days back, and I can just showcase you, but you can just use the same steps at your end, and you'll be able to create the application at your end. So I just read it out a few steps, because it's important. Like, you have to create your Q business application. When I show, you'll understand where it comes. Then you have to create as a new S3 bucket if you have already not having it. Again, I have mentioned here that it can be any other data source such as Jira, MS SharePoint, databases. Those databases which are supported, I have showed in the connector list. There are multiple databases that are supported in this case, right? There are 40 odd of them. So you can use any of them, not just S3 bucket, but I have used S3 bucket, which I'm going to demonstrate. Next is you have to create a relevant document which contains detail around which your prompt will be. I have put mines because and upload over S3 bucket. So what you have to do is because you know that in the real time when organizations have to implement, right? So what they have to do is they have to upload the documents or keep on uploading their documents. There will be automated way to have that smooth document update in this repository, for example, S3 bucket in this case. So that will be keep on happening at the back end, but in the real time, which I'm going to show you today, it is I'm going to use it on demand. But in the actual implementation, it when organizations do it or enterprise when it has to be done, it is to be done in automated fashion. Once that is done, then you have to create a data source which points to this S3 bucket, and you have to sync the data. And this sync can be scheduled as well. As I mentioned, it could be on demand, right? Which I'm going to show today. It will be on demand, and you can schedule it like if you want to update it every 5 minutes, or you want to do a syncing every 1 hour. Depending upon that, you will be getting the, let's say, what is the meaning of this syncing is once this Q business interface comes in front of you and the data which is sitting in S3 bucket, right? So that data will not be received or not be worked upon by Amazon Q business unless the syncing takes place, right? So you have to create an index and you have to do the syncing. Once that is done, then you have to use IAM Identity Center to create user and assign that to Amazon Q Business Pro. So I have chosen Business Pro. You can use Amazon Lite also. So I have mentioned here that be mindful of the free trial period. It is 60 days. I'll share that link also. That after 60 days, there are charges applicable. So for 60 days, they don't charge you. However, if you think of it, 60 days is enough time to test a lot of things in your system at your personal account, isn't it? So please be mindful of that. So please note, Amazon Q also supports third-party R&D provider, which I mentioned already, that you at enterprises, right, for single sign-on, there are systems like Microsoft Active Directory, Google Authentication. So people, organizations use that. So that can also be used as an R&D provider, and IAM supports that, and AWS Amazon Q Business supports that. Invoke your Q Business application by clicking on application deployed URL, which I'll show you. Set up two-step authentication along with MFA to access Amazon Q Business. And post successful authentication, your Q Business instance is in front of you. So this whole step, not everything I'll do right now. Some of them are already done, but I'll show you how I'm going to reach there. So let me just a second. So this is an application. Are able to see my screen properly? If you can please confirm.
Yes, Pawan, we can see your screen.
Okay. So this is the application name here, my Q Business App 1. This is deployed URL. So I'll click on that. So it will invoke my app. So as I told, it's a multi-factor authentication enabled. So I'll just provide that code here. So I've set up Google Authenticator in this case, first level Microsoft Authenticator when I logged into AWS for the first time, but for this Google Authenticator. So I'll just use that. So this is my this instance of Amazon Q business, which is corresponding to the application which I have created. Okay. Now what I have done is I can show you here the S3 bucket which I have configured, right? So this S3 bucket, of course, in the real time, these data will not be there. Of course, there will be some relevant office data, enterprise data, your meeting data, maybe your Jira, maybe your Confluence. But in this case, I created two documents on my own. One is DDoS attack, other is um, DNS. So these two documents are having those details. So I will have the prompt which is pertaining to those. So if you see company knowledge I have selected, there is a general knowledge here also. So today I'll go back to company knowledge tab and then I'll give the prompt. So I'll just say explain DDoS attack. So I've got a good couple of paragraphs here if you see. Let's see. Before I go to optimize this prompt, if you can see here, so I click on this link and it is showing me at the bottom left here, at left of my laptop, the complete path of the bucket along with the document, if you see here, right? Similar, and this will happen for each link here. So it is showing you from where it is fetching that data. If I go to sources, I can see it completely. So this is the actual document name, and this is the complete path of that document which has been configured, right? Now because it's possible that this is quite a detailed version of the response. You want to optimize the response further. So for that, you have to optimize your question, right? So the prompt. That means let me ask this same question. Summarize DDoS attack in 50 words. So a DDoS attack disrupts server. So you can see it is just responding according to the prompt, right? So I optimize my prompt. I can go further and keep on uh, experimenting my prompt and the response. However, that was the purpose of showcasing this. Now let me go to general knowledge, or maybe let me ask something which has not been configured. Like let me ask, uh, when was the World War II happened? No answer is found because the document we have, right, does not have this data. What is it means in the real time, right? It will only respond, or it will only work according to the data which is fed to it by your enterprise, right? In real time, if you think about it. So that's why it is not responding to this query, because that data it's not able to find, right? If I go to general knowledge, right, and ask the same prompt, sorry, when was the Second World War fought? See, I got all the detail, right? Now, maybe let's say organization think that, okay, this kind of topic I don't want to entertain because it's enterprise interface, right? So what I have to do is I have to put the proper guardrails for this. How we do that? Let me show you. So I go here and go in the guardrails, admin controls and guardrails, right? So I'll I'll edit it, and I just put this word called world war, or maybe just war, for example. So I added it and saved it. I think it will ask me something which I'll show you. Let me ask the same question. When was the second? I cannot complete this request as the response contains content that is blocked by your admin. Please contact your admin for help. Similarly, so here I just blocked a word, right? You can also block complete topic. So if you see here, I have not explored this one, but yeah, we can do that. So we have to create a topic, and that topic will completely be blocked. So that's kind of guardrail we need to put at enterprise level to ensure that the uh, irrelevant topics are not entertained by the interface. So with that, I'm done with the demonstration. I can just show you a bit about the data source setup which I have done. So if you see here, so this is the data source name. So it's the name of the S3 bucket which I showed you, right? So like if I update further, then I need to do this sync now, for example, because I have chosen to do the on-demand syncing. That's why. Otherwise, if you can sync, there could be other option which I have not explored, because there could be an option to integrate with this other system. And because every so let's say I'm uploading a document at S3 bucket, it's an event, isn't it? So probably it could be automated so that you don't need to touch the syncing part at all. So but I have not explored that. There must be an option for that. So that's how I have configured this data source, right? And as I mentioned, like at the in single for a single interface, for a single application, you can configure multiple different data sources. Like I can add along with S3 bucket in this same application, I can add and integrate the Jira. And then what I can do is I can just give the prompt to the application here. Say that generate a Jira issue. I'll give some detail in my prompt, and the Jira issue will get generated immediately. So these are the kind of use cases you need to think, and how you can automate number of processes in your organization and minimize the effort and increase the collaboration and minimize the time and effort and everything. So that's that way you can think of, like you can right now you are doing a maybe issue generation or issue creation in ServiceNow, for example, right? And then you are creating ticket raising in Jira, and you are doing other, like for example, you're reading a document from S3 bucket. So these three are different system altogether. Using same interface, this Amazon Q business, you can interact with all these three systems, right? So this is the power of Amazon Q business. So with that, I am done from demonstration perspective. If you have any questions, then I can take. Thank you.
Thank you, Pawan, for sharing your insights with everyone. And it was great session. Anyone has any questions, you can put it across.
Yeah, hi Ashok here. Yeah, thanks Pawan for this session. It was really very helpful to understand the concept and how it is configured. One query from my side, that in our organization we all very much use OneDrive or Google Drive to share the data, right? Is there any option to integrate those with this option so that we can have the search through the data in OneDrive or shared drive?
Yeah, I think we do have integration option. So let me share my screen again. Just a second. Let me know if you're able to see my screen. Can you?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay. So I think here you might see Google Drive listed here.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Similarly, if you go to Amazon website, let me go there. I think I'd opened it yesterday in terms of. So these are the list. If this is the complete list, I'll ping this in the chat. Just a second. So this is the complete list.
Okay.
What are the pre-built connectors for which all systems? So it's listed here. So whatever is listed here, you can better ways. Of course, it does work. It will work for sure. What you have to do is better. You can configure in your personal account or any maybe in organization also you might be having test account or something on AWS. So you can test that. It must be working definitely. Sure. So I'll
Okay.
test share this link so that you can see it later. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Please.
Any other question?
Yeah. Thanks, Pawan, for answering that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Pawan. I have a question. So, what advantage do we have using Amazon Q than other AI providers?
See, in this area, I'm assuming that other organizations like Microsoft, OpenAI, and other organizations also might be having their tools. However, I can show you something interesting that already in probably last 18 months of time, when since this Amazon Q business came live, right? There are multiple organizations. I think I've seen list of around 20 odd organizations who already used Amazon Q business to automate number of things. Like I could give only very less example. Like for example, what you can also do is number of things. Like you can automate your or you can optimize your existing workflow using Amazon Q business. There could be plethora of use cases which I think I'm yet to explore. But if you go and check about Amazon Q business website, you can just think of, and then not just that, you can also listen to multiple talks. Like what the slide which I've created is, it's been taken from a screenshot I have taken from one of the reInvent which has happened in December 2024, right? So they are talking about number of customers who have used these for multiple different use cases. Like one organization has used Amazon Q business to automate their complete onboarding process in their organization. The other organization has used it for generating automated workflow or optimize an existing workflow, because right now the tools which are being used right now to for workflow creation and all that, it's quite heavy. I mean, here without writing a single line of code, you have to just do the configuration. And you can imagine, right? Any tool, there are of course tools like low code no code in the market, in the BPM, like business process management segment of the market or area, right? So those tools also still have to write a bit of code. Here you have to you're having even a lesser amount of that code writing, almost no code in fact I would say. And then you can put certain prompt in once you integrate of course to the right system, but that system has to give that data. So that SOP, so the process detail you can provide in your prompt, and it will generate the workflow as well. And that you can use that workflow and do the bit of editing and updating that workflow, so that it a bit of tweaking I would say, so that it will fit into your requirement. So you can do a lot of things. I would suggest you to go through these talks about people who are from Amazon whose team have done it, and they have also helped number of customers. So some of the customers also have shared their success story. So what I'll do is probably once the session gets over, Abby might record this session and share with us. On top of that, I will share those links where you can go through and then understand other people's or other customers' achievement using Amazon Q business. So that's a also, because once we look at and listen to these people, we can think of many of such use cases in our organization as well. So hope that answers some of your question, Kunal.
Yeah, it do. Thank you.
Excuse me. Hi, Pavan.
Hello, Ritesh.
This session is very nice. I have found theory in that if I if if I want to block the general knowledge things also, it is possible in that because in the because in the working environment we can't uh, accept the general knowledge as you showed as an example for world war. uh, War you said like that. Suppose if I want to suppose if I enter the prompt related to the business only, it will show the result. Is that possible in that?
I'm not sure whether I understood your question correctly. So, are you saying that you're having so many environment? That was the first part of your question, which I understood. But second part, I did not understand. See, the thing is,
I will
as I mentioned, so there are. Sorry, do you want to, if you want to complete, then what is the actual question? If you can just summarize in a sentence, probably.
if I if I want to block the general knowledge section, is that
Oh, okay, got it. So you're saying general
general?
knowledge section you want to block completely.
Yes,
You want
the
to,
general knowledge section,
um,
and the suppose if suppose if I enter the prompt that is not related to the business also, it should block. Is that possible?
so it's everything it is at your disposal in terms of capability. The tab which is for general knowledge, whether it can be completely blocked. I need to check on that. I have never tried that, so I will check and then come back to you probably over LinkedIn. You can ping me, and then I can respond over there.
Okay.
There could be a possibility, but I can't comment whether it is 100% capable or not. We do have capability, as I've showed you, that you can block the topic and you can block through words. That we know that, but completely taking that option out of general knowledge. I assume that it should be there, but I need to double check on that, and I'll come back. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah. Thank you.
I think just one
Thank you
question,
so
Pawan.
much. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
Vignesh is asking like if the question is not related to business, that also should be blocked. Yeah, as you can answer that. Yeah, we can do that, I guess.
Question is not related to business. That's what it's up to us, because once we are when we are configuring, right? So it's all built for enterprise, right? So it is the enterprise admin who are setting up this, right? This application which has been created for a specific use case, right? And it's possible that there are 5 different teams using Amazon Q Business, and they all have different requirement altogether. So they all will configure this Amazon Q Business interface according to their requirement, right? So it is the responsibility of administrator who are configuring this. So they will talk to the business users of the organization who are going to use this application, and accordingly they will have to configure, and they can do that. Of course, that capability we have seen that it is there. So if the topic is something, it's kind of a more comprehensive way of providing the right guardrails, right? Blocking a specific specific topic or number of topics, I would say, that we can do. Or word is of course another option, which is a relatively easier way to do it. So I'm very sure that we need to find out those. Because if you have seen that a very different way of, you might have heard of negative prompting and all that, right? So there are different way. This is very simple way of showcasing what I have done it. However, it is more comprehensive once we think of what sort of guardrails we have to put in, and it becomes a job of I would say the AI specialist in the team who is working or configuring these kind of systems to ensure that any sort of negative prompt is being taken care. I assume that because this particular Amazon Q business is because it's trained on foundation model, which are on Amazon Bedrock, right? So I think even those negative prompting would have been taken care already. However, if it still occurs, or if you have let's say have not done enough testing, or if you want to test it out, rather it's better to test it out first in your lower environment before you release for all your business users to use it. You can test those negative prompting and then ensure that you have put the proper guardrails. So that would be my suggestion.
That's excellent, one. Thanks for sharing your thoughts, and thanks, Vignesh, for your questions. And any more questions?
Thank you so much, Pavan, for answering it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vignesh.
Yeah, this as an insightful session, Pavan. So you gave us a good start for us to explore about Amazon Q, how it works and stuff. Now it's for the audience to explore more advanced use cases, how it can help their organization in creating IT help desk support, or if there is anything which we can integrate with knowledge management. So there are a lot of things which happens in real time, where we have scattered documents across, and Amazon can help us get sorted with those things. That's really
Absolutely.
insightful. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can do all of it with a single interface. That's the best part of it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.